And for more on this development, we're joined by retired General VP Prakash Malik, who was the former Chief of Staff for the Indian Army. General Malik, thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. Let me begin by asking you, what do you make of Prime Minister Modi's US visit? This to many seems the most substantive visit in terms of outcomes and deliverables, particularly in the defense sector, sir.
I agree with you that this has been a substantive step forward, and it has left behind all the other agreements that we had signed with each other ever since, I would say, the beginning of this century. And this has got a very large scope, and both in terms of purchasing some equipment like the drones, which are absolutely state-of-the-art, more capable than anything else that anyone has in Asia, and also having capability now to produce engines for our LCA, our Tejas 2 aircraft and other aircraft in India. So these are two straightaway visible, but the other not so visible agreements are, as you mentioned yourself, on semiconductors, on the kind of facility that we are providing to each other in defense capabilities, so much so that even at the academic level, startup level, on the financial side, we have now got Indus X agreement with each other. So there has been a huge progress on the defense cooperation between India and US. And I think primarily because we both see China coming across as an adversary, both in India Pacific region, on the eastern side of China, as well as on the southern side of India. So there's been good progress which has been made with Prime Minister Modi's visit.
Yes, absolutely, sir. General Malik, you talk about China being a factor and, of course, America trying to counterbalance that, especially in the Indo-Pacific. The Prime Minister also spoke about that while in the US. He made a comment saying that dark clouds of coercion and confrontation casting their shadow over the Indo-Pacific. But more importantly, sir, many would also believe that this is a way of America to wean off India from Russia dependence also, given how heavily invested the Americans are in the Russia-Ukraine war as well.
You know, for a long time now, we've been trying to diversify our purchases, not only from Russia, but also we've been taking stuff from Israel, from France, as you know, the fighter aircraft that we have purchased from France. And similarly, we have also been purchasing a lot of defense equipment from USA itself. It is in our interest to diversify our resources as far as defense is concerned. And what we are primarily interested today are the defense technologies, because we want our own country to become self-sustenance, or having Atmanirbharta in defense equipment. And that is what has been facilitated in the recent years with the USA. So that's a huge step. In addition to buying things off the shelf or in semi mode. So this is a big step, because now we are getting technologies and we will be able to establish defense industry much better than we were able to do earlier with Russian cooperation.
Right. General Malik, in many ways, the White House has actually wanted to really own this visit. They've made sure to stick to the positives. What should we make of America, as you said, willing to transfer critical technology to India, especially for jet engines?
Well, as I said, that jet engine being manufactured in India, it gives us a great boost in our aircraft manufacturing, both for fighter aircraft as well as for the other aircraft. And it's the first time that we will be able to have the GE engine being manufactured in India by the HAL. So there is no doubt that all these things are in the national interest of both India as well as USA. And the fact is that today, as far as likely adversary China is concerned, we are together. We acknowledge that yes, there is a threat the kind of aggression that China is showing on the its own eastern front, that is in front of Taiwan or in South China Sea or even in Indian Ocean. So there is a convergence of our interests. The second thing that I want to mention here is that, in all of Asia, other than China, India is the largest and the most, I would say, powerful country. It is an emerging, not only a regional power, but also a global power. So here our interests coincide, strategic interests quite coincide, and that is the reason why America is also showing greater interest in our manufacturing capabilities.
General Malik, on the specifics of the Predator drone deal, why do we need them? Can you throw some light on it in terms of how it will aid our military?
Predators are today's state-of-the-art. They are almost like fighter aircraft, but unmanned. Right. And the kind of Predators we will be buying from USA, they will be utilized by the Army, Navy, as well as Air Force. All three services will be able to make use of them. They have got different capabilities, but it's overall capabilities, if I can mention to you, it can stay in the air for almost 14, 15 hours at a time, along with all its equipment. It is useful for our gathering of intelligence, carrying out surveillance, as well as getting the targets on the other side. It can use air-to-ground missiles. It can also use laser-guided bombs. So it's a huge capability. As far as I know, China doesn't have the kind of UAVs or these Predator drones in its own inventory. And this can be used both against China as well as Pakistan, if there is a need.
Right, that's very important, sir, what you say about the Predator drone and its use. Let me then also ask you about India allowing, Indian shipyards for military use for the US, for repair and other reasons also.
Yes, this is a facility. In fact, we have been once we had signed an agreement called LIMOA, which was for logistic purposes, so that this facility became available to USA, and now we will be able to give them more assistance. And this kind of a facility is required by both nations. The USA can make use of our ports for logistic facilities, repair facilities. Similarly, wherever they have agreements, we can also use those facilities, whether it is in South China Sea or on the Indian Ocean ports, where they have their facilities. So it's a good step that we can make use of. It is applicable to both the navies.
Right, General Malik, thank you very much for talking to us. Appreciate all the insight that you've given us on why the defense deals are so critical for India, especially with the aggression we've seen lately from the Chinese. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.